let's go to our power rankings, and we are going to have a big shift here, folks. So here we go. This is the power rankings going into Week 10. We had Bills at 10, Saints at 9, Ravens at 8, Cardinals at 7, Dolphins at 6, Packers at 5, Seahawks at 4. Seahawks at 4. That's not going to happen this week, I'll tell you that. Titans at 3, Chiefs at 2, Steelers at 1. So that was the top 10 going into this week, and here we go. We are going to start at number 10. The Bills, they have to be knocked out. We try to give them a little bit, we didn't want to over put the Bills in our top 10. We put them at 10 because they're a good win against Seattle 2 weeks ago, and then last week, the Cardinals, very close to moving up if, the defense didn't allow that, Hail Mary to DeAndre Hopkins. So unfortunate for the Bills. We are going to have to take you out of the top 10 again. Hopefully you can try and get it back on here next week. But our new number 10 team, here it is right off the rip. Seattle Seahawks moving all the way down to 4-10. I mean, folks, we cannot forgive these turnovers. And Russell Wilson these past weeks is a turnover machine. He's playing like Carson Wentz out there. So that's never good. We are going to penalize them a lot here, dropping them down to 4-10. But even when he's throwing all these interceptions, they're only losing by one possession. Very close games. I mean, they lost to the Cardinals with a minute left in overtime. They lost one possession against the Rams. So we still buy Seattle. They're still a good team overall. It's just once when Russell Wilson is throwing those interceptions, they just can't overcome it. The team's good alone, and they can overcome really anything. One turnover they can overcome. Two turnovers they can overcome. Three turnovers, really nobody can overcome that, and Seattle can't do it either. So we're not going to take him off the top 10 just quite yet. But if come Thursday, if he throws one interception, I may even take him off the top 10, but he's got to clean it up. But we're going to give him one last chance here, knock him down to 10. We're not going to completely obliterate all their progress on this on this power rankings just quite yet. So we leave them at 10. All right. Number 9 is going to be the Saints. I mean, they lose Drew Brees. He's going to be out for a couple weeks, so let's kind of take it slow a little bit. I think Jameis Winston can perform very well and provide wins and competitive games while Drew Brees is out, but we haven't seen a full game, so we can't really say it. Let's see it before we react to saying it. So we'll leave the Saints at 9. They won their game. They looked decent. I mean, they overcome some early roadblocks with Nick Mullins' 7-minute drive for a touchdown. So they overcame that a little bit. So I give them the adversity. They overcame it. Love to see it. Jameis Winston looked decent. He looked pretty good. No turnovers. That's always good when you're talking about Jameis Winston. So we're going to leave the Saints at 9. We'll see what they do next week and go from there. Alrighty, a new number 18. I'm telling y'all right now, we took the Ravens out of the top 10. Folks, the offense, it's good. It's explosive at times, but it's not consistently competitive. I mean, when we looked at that Patriots game, I mean, the rain didn't even really start until the second half, so I don't want to, the rain, blah, blah, blah. That's the reason why Lamar Jackson struggled. Yeah, in the second half, obviously, but, in the first half, that first quarter, it was pretty much spotless. No rain. So we have to penalize this Ravens team. They're good. They are explosive. They can be explosive, but it's a lot of dink and dunk. It's a lot of, 10 yards inwards. We have to see that high explosive. They haven't even been putting up the points. So we have to knock the Ravens out. There's better teams, unfortunately. Already in our new number 18, they're back in the top 10. The Rams, we have to start respecting this defense a little bit. I mean, to hold Russell Wilson to only 16 points is very, very good. To have him throw no touchdowns with him throwing those 2 interceptions and the fumble. So, I mean, the Rams, we gotta start, recognizing this defense a little bit. I mean, this is the offense. 24 points. That's what we're going to do. We're going to give you 24 points. That's how we win. The Rams and Titans, they have, their own winning strategy. The Titans is just, we're going to run the ball, a little dink and dunk here with Ryan Tannehill, still kind of lulling you to sleep with Derrick Henry just going up the middle time and time again. And then maybe we hit one big shot and, we'll put up, 24 to, 28 points, and our defense is pretty solid. The Rams are like, our defense is very solid. Our offense is very, very very spotty. We go from Jared Goff throwing no touchdowns to Jared Goff throwing, 2 interceptions to Jared Goff throwing one touchdown, no interceptions. But they always score between basically 17 and like 24 points. 24 is their high. 24 is their max, in my opinion. They can't go over 24 points. So their offense is a little limited, but their defense is very, very good. So we give the Rams that number 8 spot for beating the Seahawks. Love to see it. Alrighty, new number 7 team. Don't worry, Cardinals fans. They are still on here. No worries. All right, a new team in the top 10. We got to start respecting the Bucs. I loved what I saw from Tom Brady last week. Absolutely fantastic. Throwing to your actual weapons, throwing actual touchdowns. Love to see it. Incorporating everybody in, using, your tight ends in the red zone. I love to see that. Absolutely. Tall, big beef. Absolutely. Go throw it to him down low. The quick little slant. You need the beef to just kind of, win positioning, to secure the ball, get down to the ground. So, you throw a high to Mike Evans in the end zone. You throw it, you can't throw it high to your tight ends as well because they're both tall, but you can throw it, to the body as well. So I like what this Bucs team is doing. The defense, I'm not totally sold on. I know a lot of people like to see it's one of the best defenses in the league. I don't see that, but I like what Tom Brady has or did last week. And I think, 10 weeks in, we have to stop making excuses. He should be comfortable with the offense at this point, and we really should see these performances every single week. Tom Brady at least 2 touchdowns to his wide receivers. Want to see that. So definitely a promising sign that we just saw from the Bucs. They are still good offensively. I mean, folks, nobody can doubt their talent on the offensive side of the ball. So we moved the Bucs up to 7 here. Hopefully they can keep up what they did last week. Alrighty, number 6 is no longer the Dolphins. They didn't get moved back, I'll tell you that. So, all right, new number 6 team is going to be the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, we moved them up 1 spot here. Still a good win. I mean, still a very good win. To Hail Mary wins, very close wins. I mean, we still have to give them credit a little bit to have the to actually be able to go and do that, to get to that 50-yard line that was still good with time winding down. Defense broke a little bit. They gave up that kind of go-ahead touchdown, which wasn't good, but they also did force a turnover in the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter. The offense just couldn't kind of run out the ball, but they kind of made up for that with the Hail Mary. So this Cardinals team is good. Kyler Murray is still very good, still scoring, putting up a lot of points. The defense, it was kind of like that early Seahawks defense where it was bending and not breaking. The 1-yard stop against the Seahawks 1-yard stop against Cam Newton. Remember, that was like early, like week 3. So that was kind of like that early Seahawks defense, bend but don't break. Lately, they've been breaking. So I don't want to see the Cardinals. This new defense these last 4 weeks is kind of like that early Seahawks defense, bending, not breaking. They almost broke last week, though. Very close, 40 seconds left, and they give up a touchdown. Not great, but we still have to give them credit. They won the game. We have to give them a little bit of credit here. So we moved them up 1 spot. Cardinals, Kyler Murray is still dangerous. DeAndre Hopkins is obviously still dangerous. Kyler Murray has been building up to this moment. I mean, we've seen it up into this game. DeAndre Hopkins is getting 10 targets a game, working on those hands, shoring up those hands for that moment of the Hail Mary. So, hey, there's a method to the madness that we kind of, didn't like too much, overthrowing to DeAndre Hopkins. But, hey, it pays off here. So well done to the Cardinals, and we put them at number 6. Alrighty, we're talking top 5 now, folks. These are the best of the best up here. All right, new number 5 team is going to be the Titans. Yes, I said it. Y'all heard me. The Titans. I mean, folks, we're going to penalize them a little bit for losing. But, I mean, it seems like every time the Titans are, like, playing that early game, like Thursday Night Football, I think that's, like, their second, maybe third? Is that their third? And I think it's definitely their second primetime game, and I think it's definitely their second Thursday Night Football game. So kind of shorter weeks, not getting too much prepared for it. Thursday Night Football games are always wonky. It never goes the way that you think it's gonna go. And the Titans are still good offensively. I mean, folks, they were beating the Colts here for most of the game. It's their special teams that really started to screw it up here. We get the punt. The blocked punt, the missed field goal, the bad punt that only went for like 16 yards, setting up good field goals, the punt that got blocked for the touchdown. So, I mean, folks, we're talking about, what are we talking here? We're talking 17-13 Titans going into halftime and still looking decent, but they give up a touchdown and then because of the bad punt. I mean, look at this touchdown. They start on Tennessee's 27 off of a punt, not off of a turnover. He punts it how many yards? How many yards officially? 17 yards. The man punted it 17 yards. That's when the Colts offense taking advantage of short fields. We give Phillip Rivers credit for that, but I mean, folks, it's easy. I can take advantage of short fields. You give me 27 yards to go, I can do that. I can score a touchdown with starting at the 27-yard line, absolutely. And then we get the block punt that went for 7, and then missed field goal. So I mean, if they make this field goal, even with all those special team blunders, it's still a 7-point game, still close. But special teams really just made it out of hand. So we're not going to penalize the Titans too much for losing. We will penalize them a little bit. We dropped them from 3 to 5, but still I still buy into everybody buying in. I like Mike Vrabel. I think he's a great leader. I think Ryan Tannehill's a great leader, and Derrick Henry's one of the best running backs in the league. So still overall like the Titans. Just that Thursday night loss, a little wonky. Special teams really losing the game for them, not great. So we penalize them a little bit, drop them down to 5. Alrighty, number 4. Alrighty, the new number 4 team is going to be the Miami Dolphins. Folks, I mean, our defense alone should give us number 1. I mean, honestly. Defense scoring basically every week. Special teams setting up at the 1-yard line. The block punt, fantastic. Tua's looking good. He hasn't thrown an interception. Let me knock on wood. He hasn't even thrown an interception. 3 wins for the rookie. I mean, folks, what are we talking about here? If you're implementing a rookie midway into the season coming off of, using, Ryan Fitzpatrick, that just speaks to how well the team is just in general. Take quarterbacks out of the equation. The offensive line is still good. The receivers are still good. I mean, folks, he had to throw to Jakeem Grant. He's not even 5'10". I think he's 5'9". I think the man's listed as 5'9". So well done, Miami Dolphins. Defense is absolutely fantastic. We're putting up points every game. Tua's looking good out there. Like what I'm seeing from him. Definitely got to shore up the completion percentage a little bit, but the accuracy, the yards, the no turnovers, everything I can get behind. Dolphins were looking to be up 21-0 against the Rams. The fumble because of the center really kind of changed the outcome of the game. That's why I said the score is a little bit closer than what the game was actually, when you were watching it start to finish. And then the defense just steps up big in the fourth quarter, gets that interception, and Tua, cashes in with the touchdown. You don't see a lot of, we see some teams cashing in for touchdowns, but consistently to cash in for the touchdowns, it's hard to do. Dolphins are trying to do that. Folks, consistent greatness here. I love it. The defense is probably the best thing about the Dolphins, and Tua is just... He's learning quick, and he's a rookie quarterback with 3 wins. Folks, he's only played 3 games. He has 3 wins. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, they've played every single game. Well, Justin Herbert didn't play week 1, and he still has 2 wins. So don't want to hear it. The rookie's fine. This isn't an audition. Brian Flores is probably one of the top 3 coaches in the league. Maybe give it to Mike Tomlin, maybe number 1. Andy Reid, Pete Carroll up there as well. And I think you start talking about Brian Flores a little bit. That winning culture he started to implement, folks, it shows every week. It really does. So Dolphins are the new number 4 team. Already top 3 now. And the new number 3 team, we got to put the Packers up here. I think this was a good win overall for them, even though they were 13-point favorites and they only won by 4. Don't get bogged down by close wins. Truly, don't do that. So the Packers here, they struggled a little bit early, but that overcome of adversity, that's something that they've been lacking all season. We saw them get down against the Bucs, and I'm blanking on their second opponent that they lost to, the Vikings. They kind of, got down a little bit and couldn't overcome the deficits. Everything's good when Aaron Rodgers is playing good and everything's going right. They're scoring on their first 2 possessions. Everything's going good. But, when they start not picking up the third downs, when they start losing the lead, when they are, trailing. So this was a good game to see. There was multiple times in this game. Let me get up to it. Multiple times in this game where they were losing. They were losing 3-0. Then they go and scored a touchdown to get the lead back. And then they get up to 10-7. Hang on. Oh, no, and then they muff the punt, and the Jaguars once again take the lead. They're up 10-7. What does Aaron Rodgers do? He goes and scores another touchdown. Now they have the lead 14-17. Then they tack on a field goal. They go up 17-10. And then the Jaguars, cash in on the fumble. They tie the game at 17, and now they're down 20-17. And what does Aaron Rodgers do in the fourth quarter? He overcomes all that adversity, throws that touchdown drive, 7 plays, 75 yards, 3 minutes, 37 seconds to take the 24-20 lead, which was the final. So I appreciate a little bit of adversity they overcame, the interception by Aaron Rodgers, the fumble, overcoming all of that, and they still pull out the win in the fourth quarter. So that's kind of something that I think the Packers have been missing this season. and they finally get it here. Hopefully they can build off that huge momentum. Hopefully they learned that we can, win in close situations and not just kind of give up when we're down 14 because Aaron Rodgers threw a pick 6. So Packers are the new number 3 team. Chiefs are going to stay at 2 because they're on the bye, and I really didn't see anything that really would, I didn't see any great performances that were kind of better than the Chiefs, even though they were on the bye. So we leave them at number 2, and the Steelers, they won, and we leave them at number 1 because their division win was absolutely great. Big Ben looked absolutely fantastic, and the defense held the Bengals to 10 points. So this is the new top 10 going into week 11. Seattle at 10, Saints staying at 9, Rams at 8, Bucs at 7, Cardinals at 6, Titans at 5, Dolphins at 4, Packers at 3, Chiefs at 2, and Steelers still at that number 1 spot. Love to see it.